Greetings, royal queens and kings. Welcome back, royals. Okay. On this beautiful Good Friday, today is Friday, March 29th, 2024. Welcome back. Welcome back. And on the agenda today, we are going to pick up where we left off at. However, our focal points are going to be pretty much from the first lawsuit that Mr. Little Rod Jones had filed. And we're going to get into the undertones, the massive changes, um, the allegations without any factual basis, and, some of the obligations that were not clear, not made clear. Okay. So let's go ahead and get into it. All right, and we are okay. So listen here. First and foremost, I want to give a shout out to all the royals that have stopped through, that have been showing some love, and also to our royals that if this is your first time around, we definitely want to thank you. So, the reason we are here today, like I said, we reviewed Young Miami's, we reviewed her Carisha Please. And on there, she said usually Friday is F It Friday. So, I say let's go down memory lane and let's retrieve some of the documents that were um, retrieved. Okay, so the documents that have been retrieved, give me 1 second. And you all, thank you so much for all your patience and your undivided attention. Whenever we go live, you all are always here. But first and foremost, I want to acknowledge a legend, an icon in the business. Okay, a legend, an icon in the business. All right, Mr. He's an Oscar winning actor, Luis Gossett Jr. He passes away at the age of 87. So let's go ahead and share this with you all so we can pay homage and also do our due diligence. Okay. All right. And shout out to the Shade Room. They are providing this article. The Shade Room says, TSR Angels, roommates, we are sending our deepest condolences to the loved ones of actor Luis Gossett Jr. In the wake of the news of his passing, his nephew confirmed his passing to AP News and shared that he passed Thursday night in Santa Monica, California. A cause of death was not shared. Gossett achieved many milestones within his career. Over the years, he became the first Black man to win an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in 1983 for his role in An Officer and a Gentleman. He also won an Emmy for his role in the television miniseries Roots. We are keeping his family lifted in prayer during this time. And the photo was provided by Getty Images. Wow, I remember watching Roots. It was in elementary school. The school that attended was Margaret Mitchell Elementary in Atlanta, Georgia. And Miss Leslie Jackson was my teacher, and Dr. Norman Thompson was also a teacher as well, and mentor and father. They were like parents to the children, in the hood. Let's get into these comments. It says, "Dang, this is a good dude right here." Someone says, "I'm sorry for this news." R.P. Lewis. I think his name is Lewis. All right, this one hurts. Such a legend. Rest in peace, King. I'm about to watch Iron Eagle. Wow, rest in peace, sir. Someone says, "A true legend." A legend. Well done. Rest in peace to a legend. No, legendary. Okay. So a lot of people are saying, their condolences and legendary. And like I said, we definitely want to pay our respects to him, his family, and his legacy. All right. So let's go ahead and I'm going to pull up the documents on from yesterday, and we are going to because we were on exhibit A and exhibit B, and I believe we got like halfway through exhibit A. So we'll finish up exhibit A and then we'll also finish up exhibit B, being that this is where we it kind of left off from. So without further ado, let me go ahead and actually I'll bring up another story. This story was floating around, and I decided that I was going to go ahead and share it with you all. So, with that being said, it's actually coming from TMZ. And y'all know, I don't know what it is about TMZ, but they get the news first. So, TMZ TV, Diddy hits Top Golf in Miami amid sex trafficking investigation. Diddy took his two twins, to hit up Top Golf in Miami, the same town where feds raided one of his homes earlier this week. More, so it's a link in the bio. But where's the third girl? Isn't there like a third girl that's actually the same age as them? Like, uh, as Wendy Williams would say, like the ghetto twin shout. Okay, so once the set of twins, they have the same mother, but the sister that has the same birthday, she has her own mother. Okay, now get into this. So these are some of the photos, and shout out to our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk. Shout out to our friends over at the Neighborhood Talk. They captured the images as well. Says Diddy spotted out with his daughters for spring break. I am Alonzo, which is a hair guru, says thought this was a Fashion Nova post. Okay, ain't that it? Look, I mean, just all that makeup. She's so young. Lord bless their soul. All that makeup. It's just too much makeup. For me. Someone says better spend as much time while you can. Oh, wow. Someone else says at the end of the day, he's still a father. And regardless of what he's going through, he's teaching his children how to respond and behave while dealing with adversity. I don't know if everything they're saying is true. I do believe Cassie, because he settled faster than the speed of light. However, the rest of the accusations are TBD. In court, I will reserve my opinion. After that time, he's still a black man. So her mouth is closed. Couture Cookie, that's Couture Bay. She says, I told y'all his kids were safe and he was there. Child, that's not what he said on Young Miami's podcast. But that's not what he said on Miami's podcast. Somebody says the F is so funny. Hold on, give me 1 second. Someone says the F is so funny. Because ain't nothing funny. I wouldn't want to be seen with my dad, and I damn sure wouldn't be sharing laughs. Okay. Somebody said, Diddy doing a great job of looking unbothered while having cameras available to present him as a family man versus freak off cult leader. Well, how about this? How about how he jetted up out of here on that jet and left his sons to be detained and questioned by the girl, not the police, not a detective, but the Homeland Security. Black Sam says, someone said daddy first, criminal later. I promise it wasn't me. Okay. The girls are so beautiful, just like they mama. Someone says so many people want to see him fall. It's unreal. Someone says Diddy said left my kids where? Um, someone else says black people turn on black so fast I'll never wanna be famous for real, child. Someone says common sense tells me that if they could lock him up, he'd be locked up. Someone says, why is he still allowed around them? Exactly. I thought that was child. Someone says the smiles on their faces is enough for me. Keep your head up, Diddy. They love tearing a black man down. Well, girl, that's what the people were saying. Okay. That's what the people were saying. All right. Well, with that being said, we're going to hop up out of there and then we're going to hop over here onto some news, child. Okay. So, right here is what we're going to have. We're going to have the image, seeing Mr. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Sean Diddy Combs' private plane landed in Miami on Wednesday after two of his homes were raided by officials earlier this week. P. Diddy's Miami and LA homes were raided by Homeland Security in regards to a human trafficking case. The plane arrived from VC Bird International Airport, Antigua and Bermuda in the Caribbean. An attorney for Combs says that the agent's search on Monday were quite a, quote, gross overuse of military level force, end quote. The attorney...
Okay, so let's just pause it right there. So his jet is pulled over and he is forced to land. The man is forced to land. Okay? He is forced to land. Do you hear me? Let's go.
Says that neither Combs nor any of his family members. Sean Diddy Combs' private plane landed in Miami on Wednesday after two of his homes were raided by officials earlier this week. P. Diddy's Miami and LA homes were raided by Homeland Security in regards to a human trafficking case. The plane arrived from VC Bird International Airport, Antigua and Bermuda in the Caribbean. An attorney for Combs says that the agent's search on Monday were quite a, quote, gross overuse of military level force, end quote. The attorney, Aaron Dyer, says that neither Combs nor any of his family members have been arrested. Dyer says that Combs is innocent and will fight to clear his name.
Well, girl, get into this. Get into this. Baby, get up into this. Baby, when TMZ has entered the building and now you have
open, closets ransacked, boxes of gun ammo.
All these accusations. All these accusations. Yes, let me go over here and get to the comments. Where are my comments? And you all bear with me as our system is, yes. 111 has the butterflies in here. Maria, hey. Maria says, welcome to the Butterfly Lounge. Please tap the like as you stroll in. Thank you for your support. Oh, wow. Yeah. Uh-huh. Says, visit our friends, the Neighborhood Talk on Instagram. Oh, absolutely. There's his daughters. Uh-huh. And there's his drug mule. Uh-huh. He got arrested, y'all. And look at these. Look at these, lawsuits. And at first, Ethiopia was in there. If you can see her right here, Ethiopia was in that lawsuit. But honey, comes to find out, the people are saying that she said that she is willing to talk. She says, "No, ma'am, I cannot afford to go to jail." Okay, let's go. Yep, yep. What I tell you, 5 lawsuits, at least 5. Look at Cassie, the woman. Listen, traumatized, traumatized. You can't tell me that that woman ain't traumatized. When you talk about the pull that this man has, come on now. Look at those. Look, and now 50 cents. Now 50 cents. They're saying his baby mama was over there doing the doo wop. You know, doing the doo wop. Why are we here? We are here to look at what is going on. What is going on, to compare, to contrast. Something needs to be done about this. When you talk about survivors and victims and current day, when we talk about those that have come before us that are not here with us today, we have to speak up. What is the goal? The goal is to speak up. I just told you. The goal is to bring awareness, to speak up, and call out the facts. And in closing, we'll give you a conclusion based on what we discussed here today in this lawsuit. So that is your itinerary for how the show is going to go. First of all, we're discussing why we are here, what is the goal, and in conclusion, based on what we discussed in the lawsuit, is how we're going to that's how we're going to close out today. Okay. So like I said, we have 50 cents up here on the chopping block now. He decided to open up his mouth. We have Eric Hickerson in the building, says, "Love your life. Keep up the good work. Gratitude. Gratitude." Listen here. This is for the people. This place is for the people. We are here to sound off. Maria says, the doo-wop. The doo-wop. Okay. Yes, that's what it is. It's a doo-wop. And yes, it is. Okay, so actually, this is what we are going to do. We are actually going to stream on our main channel, and we're also going to stream from the website. So just give us a minute. If you all are not subscribed to our Twitch, please get on over to Twitch. We're actually going to be streaming there as well. All right. Now we can move forward. Maria says maybe 50 Cent wants Diddy's spot, gatekeeper. Listen here. I was always told, you know, when you dig one hole or dig one grave, dig one for yourself. And so we're here to bring 50 cents to it, because 50 cents, yeah, he's a troll, he's this, he's that. However, everybody has a past, okay? Everybody has a pair of dirty laundry. Everyone, okay? Listen here, we all put on our pants the same way. One leg at a time. Let's get into this. Justin Bieber. We are here to discuss Justin Bieber. Where is Justin Bieber? Can we check on him? Can we get a wellness check on Justin Bieber? Because last I checked, he was going through it. Wasn't August Alsina going through it? August Alsina was going up against the machine to where, child, I don't know how he rocked, but August Alsina has come out that closet. He said, you know what? Let me go ahead and open up that closet door and let y'all know it is what it is. You know, let me go ahead and get my switch on. Let me go ahead and bounce it. I don't know if I'm gonna be a versatile or I'm gonna be a top or a bottom. So I think we're gonna swerve into the versatile lane. And that's just how it goes. Being a young person and being put in the hands of alleged predator, let's assume that we were Usher and we were scouted to come on over, allegedly, to hang out and see what the adult life was about. Do we feel like, oh, A, it was before my time, B, this is a little too much, C, what is going on here, D, lock all of them up. Lock them all up. Let's get into this footage. So, yeah, like I said, this is why we are here to discuss. Look at Usher. Usher has that baby face. Usher has that baby face. Look, just entering puberty looks like. You know, we are here to discuss Usher. Uh-huh. Because Usher recently went on over to Uncle Rush. And when Uncle Rush woke up, Usher was sitting on his bed waiting for Unc. Waiting for Unc. Unc said he woke up and Usher was there with his shirt off. When you talk about back in the day and how Usher went and seen how this goes, I wonder what Usher is utilizing in his life this current day, based on the fact that he got to know what the adult industry was about. But maybe I'm preaching too much. You know, maybe so. Oh, hold on. Let's get this audio. Let's go.
Went there to see the lifestyle,
Right.
and I saw it.
He went to see the lifestyle and he saw it. He saw it. He saw it. Okay. So we're going to hop up off of there. And we're going to go ahead and pull these documents up. And like I said, let's get back into Exhibit A. Uh-huh. Attachment A. Uh-huh. Now, I'm wondering, did we read out? No. Because this was the, this is his NDA. Uh-huh. Okay, I think we were... Okay. So we were at the vlogging. Okay. Okay, so the foregoing expressly includes, without limitation, communications appearing on the internet via blogging, and or social networking sites such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Without limiting the foregoing, you shall not, without artist prior written authorization and artist sole discretion, A, distribute, publish, or permit the distribution. So now we're in the non-disclosure agreement, where you can't post on social media, no matter what you see at a party. And they make sure that they put parties in here. They make sure they elaborate on parties. Okay. So it says, an artist's sole discretion, A, distribute, publish, or permit the distribution of or publication of photographs, videotapes, films, audio tapes, or any other recorded sound or image, or any other materials of artists and or artist parties, whether or not the same constitutes prohibited material. Or B, copy, excerpt, or otherwise use and or dispose of any artist and or artist parties materials, including any property or materials in your possession or control that belong to artists and or the artist parties, and or if such property does not belong to artists and or artist parties, which contain prohibited material, to the extent you have not delivered and removed such prohibited material, therefore their form as required hereunder, including without limitation data, documents, records, smartphones, computers, files, etc., and that upon expiration or termination of the relationship with or in connection with artists. Okay, so let's go back right here. And that upon expiration or termination of the relationship with or in connection with artists or such earlier date as artists may require. You or your legal representatives, heirs, successors, or assigns shall promptly deliver possession to artists in good condition any such property of artists and or artist parties and or other records, copy, excerpts, and other aforementioned materials that are in your possession or control. Two, you acknowledge, here, let's scoot up. So you acknowledge that due to the nature of the entertainment industry and any disclosure or dissemination by you of any information or material described in paragraph 1 will deprive artists and or the artist parties of the right to use such information or material. You expressly agree that if you breach or threaten to if you breach or threaten to breach paragraph 1, artists and or the artist parties would suffer immediate irreparable harm and injury which could not be adequately compensated by an award of monetary damage, in addition to all other rights or remedies available to artists and or the artist parties. Artists and or the artist parties shall be entitled to injunctive relief and all other remedies provided in such event by law or equity. Such remedies shall include, without limitation, the right to prevent dissemination of any information or materials described in paragraph 1. You agree to execute any documents and take such other actions as may be reasonably requested by artists and or the artist parties to further evidence or effectuate the rights set forth in this agreement. You hereby appoint power of substitution and delegation to execute all such documents which you fail to execute within 5 days after artists and or artist parties request therefor. 3. The term of this agreement and duty to keep all information confidential and not use prohibited material shall commence on the first date above and continue for the life of artist plus 20 years or 70 years, whichever is longer. 4. You warrant and represent that A, you have the full right, power, and authority to enter into this agreement and be bound by the obligations herein. B, neither the execution, delivery, nor performance of this agreement by you shall conflict with or result in a default or loss of rights under any agreement or understanding to which you or any of your affiliates is a party, or by which you or any of your properties may be bound. C. This agreement constitutes your valid and binding obligation, enforceable in accordance with its terms. And D. You have signed this agreement voluntarily without duress, coercion, or undue influence. This agreement shall be deemed to have been entered into the state of New York and its validity, interpretation, and legal effect shall be governed by the laws of the state of New York, applicable to contracts entered into the perform entirely therein. The New York courts only will have jurisdiction over all controversies regarding this agreement, and any action or other proceeding which involves such controversy will be brought solely in the courts located within the state of New York. You hereby consent to the personal jurisdiction of such court and waive any objection based on personal jurisdiction, venue, or forum non convened. This agreement embodies our entire agreement with respect to the subject matter hereof. The agreement shall injure to the representative members, owners, shareholders, licenses, designees, successors, and assigns. This agreement may not be transferred or signed in any manner by you, and any attempted transfer or assignment shall be deemed null and void. Facts, photocopied, and scanned signatures of this agreement shall be deemed effective as originals. 5. You agree to defend, indemnify, and hold artists and the artist parties and their respective parents, subsidies, affiliates, licenses, assigns, and their officers, directors, members, managers, agents, distributions, and employees harmless from the from and against all liabilities, damages, judgment, losses, costs, and expenses, including without limitation reasonable counsel fees of any kind or nature whatsoever which may be sustained or suffered by or secured against any of them by reason of, based upon, or relating to any breach of any of the provisions, representations, or warranties contained herein, or by virtue for any inaccuracy in or breach of the representations and warranties made by you hereunder to any third party on behalf of the artist and or artist parties, or any claim, action, or proceeding asserted or insulted relating to or growing out of any such breach. 6. All covenants, terms, restrictions, and provisions of this agreement are severable if any such covenant, term, restriction, and or provision is held by a court or other legal forum of competent jurisdiction authority to be valid, no, to be invalid, void, or unenforceable, such covenant, term, restriction, or other provision shall be amended to the limited extent necessary to be valid and enforceable, and the remainder of its agreement shall remain in full force and effect. The parties acknowledge that any competent judicial authority shall be empowered to modify such valid, illegal, or unenforceable covenant, term, restriction, and or other provision, if any, in accordance with this paragraph. In accordance with this paragraph. Number 7, this is an important legal document. You acknowledge that A, you have reviewed this agreement with your legal counsel or knowingly decline the opportunity to do so. B, your failure to review this agreement with your legal counsel shall not impair the legally binding nature of this agreement. And C, you have fully read and understand the voluntarily accept all of the terms and conditions of this agreement. You certify that you are 18 years of age and older, accepted and agreed, including acknowledgement of receipt of all considerations. So it'd be the name, the street address, the city, the state, province, postal code, and the date that it was signed. So this is the last page of that. What do you all think so far? What do y'all think so far? What do y'all think so far? I'm just over here like, woo, he said, be right back. Okay. When we talk about the island and things like that, right? We talk about, these individuals, that were mentioned in the lawsuit and the actions. And we're not saying that anybody's guilty or anything like that. We're just, reading the documents that were put out. Oh, now let's get into this. I don't know if you all saw this, but I want to give you all a piece of this right quick. as we are going to have to take off. So this is Exhibit B. Okay, so it has a case number. Actually, let me go ahead and zoom in. Okay, so I want you all to really pay attention to this. These are real legal documents, and we are just here to give our commentary and read the documents, right? So this is document 30-3, and this was filed 3/28/2024, and it's one of three that was actually on yesterday. So these were filed on yesterday. Okay, so attachment B, you all see that? Okay, let's go ahead and get into so case number document file 3/28 2024. This is page 2 of 3. This is the United States Federal Court, Southern District Court of New York. Okay, the case number. And this is the Declaration of Ethiopia. The Declaration of Ethiopia. Okay, and the plaintiff is going to be Mr. Rodney Jones. Mr. Rodney Jones. Let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit more so you all can really get up into this. Okay, so this is what we are doing. We are doing our due diligence. Okay, this is what you call doing your due diligence, and we are over here dissecting the case. Okay, so like I said, the plaintiff is Mr. Rodney Jones, and this is the Declaration of Ethiopia, Habertamerian. Okay, so the plaintiff versus Sean Combs, Justin Dior Combs, Ethiopia, Habertamerian, Lucian Charles Grange, Christina Cochran. We have Shalice Recording Studios, Love Records, Motown Records, Universal Music Group, Combs Global Enterprises, John and Jane Doe's 1 through 10, and ABC Corporations 1 through 10 are the defendants. Okay, so get into this. It says, I, Ethiopia Habertamerian, declare according to, okay, get up into this, according to 28U.S.C.1746 as follows. Okay, she says, 1, I have personal knowledge of the facts set forth herein. Okay, let's go ahead and zoom out. Zoom out a little bit. Okay, it says, I have personal knowledge of the facts set forth herein, which are known by me to be true and correct. And if called upon to testify as a witness, I could and would possibly competently testify thereto. Okay, listen here. When it all falls down, let's get into this. Let's get into this. So, employment history with UNG. 2, I began my employment with Universal Music Publishing Group, UMPG, in January 2003. She says, so number 3, in or around February 2014, I was promoted to president of urban music, co-head of creative at UMPG. Okay, get into that. So, number 4, in or around February 2014, I was also given the titles of President of Motown Records and Executive Vice President of Capitol Music Group. In those roles, I reported directly to Steve Barnett. Okay? Now pull up on this. This is page 3 of 3. Now, I really want you all to really focus in on what's been going on, what's been the tea, you know, what's really been the tea out here in these streets. We need to know. All right, so now we are on page 3 of 3, and it says number 5, in or around March 2021, I became the chairwoman and CEO of Motown Records. At that time, Motown Records became a standalone label within UMG Records, Inc. UMG, in that role, I reported directly to Lucian Grange. Also, she reported to Lucien Green. So when we talk about, let me slow down. When we talk about Lucien Grange, I think he's a very wealthy, he's a very wealthy man. Very wealthy man. Uh-huh. Very wealthy man. And so when we talk about following the money, Lucien Grange, you want to follow his money. Okay, so number 6 says, I left Motown Records and the entire UMG organization in November 2022. It says Love Records, number 7. In or around May 2022, Motown Records entered into an agreement with Love Records, Inc. Love Records, Inc., entitled The Love Album, UMG was aware of and authorized Motown Records to enter into a license agreement with Love Records. Number 8. So she's clarifying. She's saying in or around May of 2022, Motown Records entered into an agreement with Love Records. So who was Love Records? Isn't P. Diddy associated with that? So Motown Records associated with Love Records, P. Diddy. Okay, so I'm gathering that, incorporated. Okay, so it says, whereby Motown Records obtained the right to distribute one album being produced by Love Records, Inc., entitled The Love Album. Okay, well, if we want to go into the details, who was all attached to the Love album? Well, Rodney Jones said that he played a big part on it. He traveled, he stayed there, he put in a lot of work. He was told that he would win a Grammy. Somebody would make an agreement to get him that Grammy. Okay. And the album was going to be entitled The Love Album. Off the grid, right? So it says UMG was aware of and authorized Motown Records to enter into a license agreement with Love Records. So this is what Ethiopia is saying. Okay. Now, number 8, it says, to the best of my recollection, under the license agreement, Motown Records agreed to pay or reimburse. Okay, so to the best of her recollection, under the license agreement, Motown Records agreed to pay or reimburse Love Records for certain of the invoice recording costs incurred by Love Records in making the Love album. So when we're talking about following the money is Motown Records. They were willing to pay or reimburse. They were willing to pay or reimburse. Okay, do we got that? Let's get into it. Okay, so let's go ahead. So it says number 9. I am not personally aware of any financial sponsorship by Motown Records or UMG of any Love Records listening parties or writer camps. To my knowledge, neither Motown Records nor UMG will have organized or run any listening parties or writers camps for the Love album while I was at Motown. So what she's trying to say is, girl, I don't know anything about no writers camp, and they were supposed to be getting paid, the listening parties, the this, that, and the third. But of course, we all know everybody wants to get paid. You know, everybody wants to get paid for their work. Let's talk about it. All right, let's get into it. Number 10, she says, I'm not personally aware of any cash payments from Motown Records or UMG to Love Records or Mr. Combs. Instead, as I said, to the best of my recollection, under the license agreement, Motown Records would have paid for or reimbursed Love Records for only certain invoice recording costs. Okay, so it says number 11, Since leaving Motown Records in 2022, I have had no involvement with Love Records. I declare under penalty of perjury that the proceeding is true and correct, executed on March 21st of 2024, and that's Miss Ethiopia. That's her signature. Okay, so listen here. We're gonna dive more into the content as we unfold, as we uncover what feels like to be an onion, y'all. It's like, oh my God, this is like an onion and peeling layers of the onion bag. It's like peeling layers of an onion bag with this story. And you know, I can really say that I got to shout out to the bravery of the individuals that had spoke up and had come out and wanted to bring this to light and get their justice. Now, however, I feel like Claudia Jordan needs to be pulled into this. Claudia Jordan needs to be pulled up into this. We have questions, Claudia Jordan. You know, when we talk about Kathy White, Corey, when we talk about the investigation, or maybe is what's her name? Claudia Jordan in protective custody. You know, we don't know what's going on. Only thing that we can do over here is speculate. Okay. Well, listen here. I want to thank you all for coming by. P. Diddy ran off on the plug, child. Did he run off on the plug? For what? Oh, let me go ahead and drop the link because I did say that this was an open panel. This is an open panel. If anybody wants to come up and sound off, get their thoughts, opinions on anything that was discussed today. Okay. We want to know, you know, the goal here today was to dig through the lawsuit, dig through the declaration, you know, and pretty much look at everything that's going on from each angle, you know, not really missing a point. And speaking of not missing a point, there have been massive changes in the lawsuit. Okay. As I said earlier, there are rules. There's a rule called Rule 11. And shout out to the lead attorney and AV, the young lady that's present on the panel as he does his shows. He actually taught me something today because he says attorney have rules, Queen Tulsa. He said an attorney needs, you know, needs factual basis, not 2%, not 3%, not 1%, but factual basis to go forward with a claim, right? And I said, oh, wow. Well, is it, you know, because, you know, when you say, okay, when you talk about the criminal justice system and lawyers and doctors, well, is there an oath? Well, he says, well, Rule B, the attorney must sign, stamp, and approval on anything that's going in and out as far as like a complaint, right? I'm like, wow, I didn't know that either. And then he says, well, that's not it. He says, Rule C, there are consequences for not following the rules for an attorney, you know? So one are saying, oh, well, Tyrone Blackburn, oh, he's worked this case, he's worked that case, and he didn't get no justice here, he didn't get no justice there. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But what I can say is we need to keep our eyes open and look at Tyrone Blackburn. Let's look at the lead attorney. Let's check out TISATELLS because there are some details that I might miss and that they might cover. Or, you know, they might miss something or they might have a point in where we can dive into and dissect, you know? Okay? And so the real fact here, and this is going to ruffle a few feathers. You know, our goal here today our goal here today is to question the mule, arrest, he's the focal point, G, that allegedly was piled in the Shalice's bathroom at that studio. That's the main focus. LILROD being essayed allegedly by Young Miami's cousin. You know? And I don't know. Was that Saucy Santana in drag? I don't know. I don't know. Speculation. Nothing that I'm saying are facts. But the facts of the matter are P. Diddy's attorneys never did, in my opinion, maybe I've missed it, never did refute the drugs, the sex trafficking, the sex working, the grooming, the blackmail tapes, Cuba Gooding Jr., Young Miami, cousin, and like I said, the shooting that happened in that bathroom, allegedly. Because that's what LILROD is saying. And LILROD is saying that, someone put something in his drink, his cocktail. That's what he's alleging, that, he was having a good time until he wasn't. Allegedly. And how LILROD's attorney is coming back to say, hey, no, there may be misinformation, but my client has stated all these allegations before Puff Daddy's or P. Diddy's homes were raided, and we're saying homes. That's more than one. That's more than two. When his homes were raided, they found weapons in all locations. Okay? They found weapons there. They found weapons. So, in conclusion, those were a few names, but I still want to give you all a few more. Usher and Justin Bieber. Let us know who else was there. Let us know who else was traumatized. Because we know Meek Mills is over there having it out. And that's the reason, ladies and gentlemen, royals, queens and kings, that's the reason why I haven't said anything about him. Because Meek Mill is really battling, allegedly, some things. Behind the scenes, I got intel, behind the scenes. In conclusion, the lawsuit that we first heard of had come with a trigger warning, okay? Uh-huh. And let's not forget the detailed, salacious cleanup crew. All right. Well, this concludes our broadcast. I want to thank you so much for coming by. To all our royals for stopping by. If you donated into the platform, we want to thank you so much in advance. Please like, share, subscribe, and set those notifications and catch us on our next broadcast. So long.